Kugayama Shiori's death diary is about a girl repeatedly offing herself in order to figure out how she died. A strange premise, but an interesting setup for this paranormal mystery visual novel. You'll spend a bit of time humoring this girl as she comes up with various different ways to die. Gruesomely outlandish deaths, only for her to shrug it off like it's nothing. And yet, what I never expected was for this silly black comedy title to hit me hard with the feels. Although, I really should have expected it considering who's behind this game. Many thanks to Laplacian for a review copy for me to check out, and for showing me that the first thing you should do after seeing a dead body is photograph it. Wait, hold up. For stumbling upon a hanged up dead body. The main protagonist is pretty chill about it. You spot a dead girl in the middle of the park who suddenly starts talking to you. Meet Shiori Kugayama, a easygoing girl who says that she's a ghost and is repeatedly trying to die in order to recover her lost memories and how she died in the first place. What's wild is how casually she treats her fake suicide attempts, even trying to play up her own death scene. Girl is out here trying to make her death look as authentic as possible, asking, "Hey, does this fit? Do I look good as a corpse?" Throughout the story, you'll accompany Shiori as she's documenting all of her attempts in the aptly named Death Diary. Here you'll get more insight into Shiori's headspace and thought process as she's reacting to the attempt and trying to remember her memories. And for you, clues to help. Besides the diary, there's a lot more that gets recorded too. Stuff like personal notes of characters and events, and details on the urban legends you've seen. It's useful as you're moving from place to place on the map. I encourage you to explore everywhere and each choice decision. These one-off events will actually help you progress through the story, as well as add more depth to our ghost gal. Talking to Shiori feels very casual. In general, the visual novel is largely conversational. While the two work together to regain her memories, it also becomes a tender and somber look at how Shiori grows fond of her past life, learning more about herself and her motivations before becoming a ghost. Thanks, game. Good to know she was slightly morbid before becoming a ghost. It wasn't picked up after the fact. If there's one thing I will criticize, is that the protagonist has a very bare bones personality. Most responses are very flat and basic. Only on occasion can you feel the protagonist starting to adopt a slightly whimsical casual manner like Shiori. But there is a reason on why this is the case. I just feel like more banter could have added more flavor, considering the fact of how nonchalant the protagonist acts when Shiori jumps off a building. Now, Shiori isn't the only ghost roaming this town. There's an older woman who's haunting the library, strict with her rules and won't hesitate to deal out discipline, a Gyaru girl who's casually hanging out around a convenience store, someone who has all the intel on the local ghosts around, a mysterious woman who's an expert on urban legends, seemingly with a strange case of Chuniboism, and even a couple more. Reiko's my favorite side character, if only for the completely unnecessary but very cool aura farming at the very end of the story. Every ghost you meet has their own strange and unique circumstances, but despite the difference, they all work under the same principles. Information you need to know to solve Shiori's mystery. Yes, this is a paranormal story, but this mystery takes its time to establish its certain rules, key elements, and crucial behaviors, where it's possible to figure out the core of the investigation. It's through understanding all of this that you can progress through the story and avoid the bad endings. Say one wrong statement or make one bad move, and you'll end up triggering these ghosts' years-long rage and fury. There are 12 different endings to encounter in this game, including the true ending. Some of them have you suffer a rather unfortunate fate, and others end up being endings you most certainly do not want. What's nice is that with each registered bad ending, the game offers a hint on how to continue through the story. Note, these are different from one-off game over endings, where making a bad choice kills you immediately. The mystery is interesting, especially when it decides to really escalate things. But the actual investigation and the various fake death antics wasn't the thing that got me invested. It was actually the personal stakes of the major characters. Getting to know each ghost, hearing their past regrets, mistaken misunderstandings, and true feelings through personal anecdotes is the visual novel's greatest charm. All thanks to the authors Kazuki Fumi and Ono Wasabi. For those who are not aware, Kazuki Fumi is the author behind the 9 series Kimeguri Temptation and the most appropriate work similar in spirit, Nanairo Reincarnation. The script was also expanded by Ono Wasabi from Laplacian, who wrote Cyanotype Daydream. I say that, but to anyone who's read Nanairo Reincarnation, this visual novel will feel very similar. Really, saying anything more would give away the fun surprise. I could tell where Ono Wasabi's influence on certain parts of the story were. Then again, this is probably me feeling that same production style from Laplacien's other drama works, specifically in the art direction and music. Note this visual novel does contain AI-assisted backgrounds, so that element might be a detractor for some individuals. While I will stress my encouragement on original artwork for the developers, I didn't particularly mind it as much. I was too mesmerized by Pellet's character designs, the horror facial expressions, and the purple blood. Thank God it's purple, otherwise this video would have been shot down by YouTube. Kugayama Shiori's Death Diary isn't a very long game. It took me around 10 hours to reach a true ending, maybe a bit longer if you're actively going for all the endings. And yet, despite its short time, it made its impact. What I thought was a quirky mystery title with an unusual premise ended up hitting unexpectedly hard, one that made me tear up at the game's true ending. Extra saw points when I looked in the diary and notes after everything was over. Beneath all the fake deaths, ghost antics, and urban legends, at its core, it was a relationship drama between the living and the dead. Now, if you're interested in another similar visual novel like this, you want to check out this video over here, or this one for more of a general visual novel recommendation. I would like to thank everyone on Patreon for supporting me in covering visual novels. You guys are fantastic, and if you'd like to be a part of that effort, please consider subscribing. And lastly, please don't attempt these acts unless you're a ghost. Not even dumping 10k yen as a donation will save you if you do so.